Traders, take your Captain Obvious hats off and throw them in the garbage. Bitcoin is respecting the most important level on the entire chart, and almost no one sees it. While the market poops its pants, Bitcoin is quietly cultivating strength right inside the same zone where every major reversal of the previous year began. And today, the 2-hour finally broke out from key support. This might be the moment everything flips. So let me show you exactly why this setup matters. Let's go! But before we jump into the structure, let's talk about the part of the story that everyone's missing. Because while retail is soiling their pants, whales and institutions are going absolutely insane. The previous week alone, whales bought 54,000 Bitcoin, nearly $5 billion worth, Mr. Powers, the fastest accumulation since 2012. Coinbase Institutional, buying at record levels. Larry Fink's company, 75,000 Ethereum and over 2,200 Bitcoin straight into Coinbase Prime. I wonder if they charged him those ridiculous commissions that they charged me. Anyway, it gets better. Capriole reports institutions are now buying more Bitcoin than miners can produce. For 3 straight days, demand has outpaced new supply by 13%. Wow! Okay, so this is the type of stuff I like to categorize as cocktail party finance. This is where, you go to like a cocktail party and you try to impress the women with your all the stuff that you consume on Twitter, right? About finance. So you can sound financial. That's great. Just, I have to warn you, when you lead with money, you will attract a certain type of woman. Now, that topic is beyond the scope of this channel and my expertise. So I will have to refer you to Dr. Orion Taraban. Oh boy, here we go. As my friend Susan would say, oh God. Kathy Wood went on Fox and said something about a four-year cycle. All right, let's take a listen before I continue my commentary.
Bitcoin is behaving more like a risk-on asset. It has played the risk-off role at different times during the European sovereign debt crisis, during our regional bank crisis. But right now, it's risk-on. It is climbing another wall of worry, and that is the 4-year cycle. We think the 4-year cycle is going to be disrupted, and what I mean by that is Bitcoin regularly dropped 75 to 90% in its early days. The volatility is going down. It's down about 30 some odd percent. And I think there's a fear of the 4-year cycle. We think that the move by institutions into this new asset class is going to prevent much more of a decline. We may have seen the low a couple of weeks ago.
All right, okay. First of all, she sounds like she's making this stuff up. But, all right, let's look at the positive side. For one, if you're an investor, this is good. This is good propaganda, right? This is certainly not going to hurt Bitcoin. Another thing is, it's good that something like this, if it's going to lure ignorant investors, it's good that it comes out now while Bitcoin is at good prices, because this would be even worse if this came out while Bitcoin was at, new highs. Usually when the market is on new highs, new all-time highs, you see tons of content or propaganda like this. One of the first lessons I learned when I started out in this game was that conventional news is the lowest quality information that you can make investment decisions on. It's good though for background information, okay? So you have to take it with a grain of salt, and you have to just understand where it's coming from and why they put out stuff like this. And I just have to say one more thing. And I got yelled at about yesterday's my little rant on Kathy Wood, but I just have to say this. Kathy just doesn't give me wood. How about you guys? Does Kathy give you guys wood? Let me know in the comments. Okay, Frank. Okay, after this, no more Kathy Wood jokes. I promise. I just couldn't resist. Booty cheeks made me do it. And now it's time for box. The fear box, that is. Let's take a look at the 3-day chart. Bitcoin is sitting inside the fear box and respecting it beautifully, because you should respect box. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in jail. Anyway, this is where the herd mentality overreaction becomes opportunity. This is where bottoms form. This is where the strongest reversals begin. Every tail, every bounce, every rejection of lower levels tells the same story. Buyers are absorbing fear. Exactly what you want to see during accumulation. A nice, big, fat, smelly fear box. Now let's move to the daily. Price keeps rejecting this green support block again and again. That's not a coincidence. That's demand, people. Every time the bears try to poop on this thing, buyers step in and they eat it right up. All of it. And today's reaction? Clean, sharp, bullish, even if it's a little smelly. As long as this daily support holds, the next objective becomes this red resistance zone above. Break that and the trend shifts fully. Let's go! Zooming out, the wiggly still looks like consolidation, but not the bearish kind. This is compression. This is the coil before expansion. We've got a major weekly support base, 2 clear bounce zones, right? One at like 80K 200 and the other one is like 94K 200. A mid-range near 93K that decides the next trend. Once Bitcoin clears that mid-range, the entire chart opens up. This structure is messy, but it's also bullish beneath the surface. Just like I was explaining yesterday, the role of the analyst and the role of the trader. This is what the analyst does. You're gathering bigger picture context, and then you take this information to refine it further into a trade. That's where the trader role comes in, right? This chart lays out the 3 most realistic scenarios from here. Scenario 1, reclaim, retest, blast through the resistance into new highs. This is where people get all interested. Like if Bitcoin's pushing 105, Bitcoin's pushing 115. That's where people say, oh, now's a good time to buy. But no, that's where you're taking greater risk, right? Now is the time where the risk is much more attractive. We still have a higher low here. This is why it's so important to observe the bigger picture and monitor it regularly. Now look, here's scenario 2. This is the slow grind. Back up before the breakout. It can be tricky, all right? And scenario 3, of course, one more liquidity sweep into the 80K to 78K before breaking out. Now, when you have these consolidations and these slow grinds, that's where you need the perspective to be able to recognize the opportunity that most people aren't recognizing. The problem with the inexperienced trader and investor is in these situations, they're timid because the market doesn't look great on smaller time frames. No matter which one plays out, the structure still points upward after clearing the mid-range. And here's where today gets interesting. The 2-hour has finally broken out from the key green support block, as you can see here. Momentum flipped, structure flipped, short-term trend flipped, and if you missed this, you're gonna flip. Now, we've got 3 clean stair-step resistances above. First local objective, then we have mid-range, then the major supply zone around the 95K, which I've talked about here numerous times if you look at the channel, if you watch the channel. Stay above the green block, and Bitcoin continues to push higher. Now, I just want to add something to this. Keep in mind, when you look at situations like this, and there's a change, I mean, look, you can see this spike over here blew through this area, and then it's retesting the support, right? The green block continues to hold. But keep in mind, it's important to always consider both sides of the equation. Keep in mind, it's up to the market, right? Not what we think. So if these supports break on this time frame, then it will invalidate this scenario. Important to understand, all right? Keep that in mind, guys. If you want to trade these levels the same way I mapped them, both links for BTCC and WeX are in the description. Use them only if you want. They support the channel and give you some bonuses. And if you really like the content, you know what you can do with your thumb. Plus, you should subscribe. And hey, leave a rude comment while you're at it. I'd love to hear from you. So here's the bottom line. Bitcoin is respecting the daily support. The 2-hour just broke out. The 3-day is absorbing fear. Institutions are buying like never before. And the weekly looks poised to resolve soon. This is where patience pays. This story is just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.